specifics or players, but it seems like this college basketball scandal is helping UCLA. It could help UCLA. It could be something that benefits you recruiting-wise.
I'm not sure how to answer that, to be honest with you, because our recruiting's been really good. I mean, last year our recruiting class, I think, was top. I think we've had top 5, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and
right.
So, you know, we just do our job, and hopefully, you know, we really don't pay attention to the rankings as much as kind of putting the puzzle together. And we got to put the puzzle together because, you know, we got some good players that obviously with Tom and Gigi and. You know, graduate, and not knowing about Aaron, because I think Aaron's one of the best point guards in the country right now. So we just gotta, and we're not full scholarship now, you know. So we had basically 9 on scholarship that were able to play all year long. So it ends up being another big class.
Yeah.
And I can't comment on who we've got, but I like how it's coming together.
I guess I'm not trying to say that you weren't already doing a good job, but I'm asking you could get additional players.
And I'm not saying I was doing a good job. You may say I'm doing a bad job. Doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm just saying the scandal has nothing to do with how we go about doing our recruiting. We recruit guys that are available, and we feel like those guys that are available that are a part of what we're doing, then that's who we try to recruit. Any questions on SC? Let's get to what I'm really focused on. I'm done right now with recruiting.
SC, you guys obviously beat them, but right now it seems that they're playing their best basketball.
I think they've been really good all year. I think, and you know, they were picked 2nd behind Arizona. That's kind of where it's looking like right now. And I said back in January when the season started, I thought the 2 most talented teams were Arizona and SC. SC's got a lot of players back that have an awful lot of experience, and those guys stayed in school. And you've got Arizona, who had guys return. Aikens returned, and Trier returned, and so they had a great nuclearistic return. Parker Cartwright returned, and then you had probably the #1 pick in the draft to that team. So I thought all along those were the 2 most talented teams. So, and I still believe that. So yeah, it's senior night for them, and you know, J-Mac has been terrific throughout his career, and he's having a really good senior year, and I think he's the catalyst of what they do. I think he really makes them go because he sets everybody else up. And Stewart has been very special as one of those athletic kids that can really shoot the basketball and do a lot of things in the big guard position. So it's a lot of matchup problems, and we know we're going to have to play really well.
I think the home team has won at least the last 3 games in this series. What is it going to take to win a game on their home court?
Well, I think they've won here, and we've won there in my 5 years. So you know, we just got to play, but we got to play well. You got to put together 40 minutes of really good basketball. We know that we don't have that margin of error to go in to anybody's home and play 30 good minutes. We played 40 good minutes at Arizona and won. We played 32 good minutes at Arizona State and lost. So you know, we've got to put together 40 minutes of high-quality basketball at both ends of the floor. I think a key for us has always been against this particular team is not turning the ball over. When we've turned the ball over, it's been hard for us to beat them. When we've taken care of the basketball and valued the basketball, we've had good success.
How big of a carrot is staying in the top 4 for the Pac-12 tournament?
Well, I think that's what everybody's trying to do because it's a lot. You've got conference tournaments starting now, so anytime you can avoid playing 1 extra game in conference tournaments when you're trying, everybody, whether they've started this week or next week when the Pac-12 starts, you go to the conference tournament trying to win the conference tournament. And obviously the path to that championship is a lot easier if you're playing 3 games in 3 days versus 4 games in 4 days. And, you know, so that's always going to be the push, and we're right there. You know, a week ago we had ourselves in a really good position. We knew this was going to be a tough road playing at Utah, Colorado, and now SC, and so we know we're going to have to play well to put ourselves in that point. But if we could take care of business on Saturday, it would get us to 11 wins, and I think potentially push us into one of those spots. But we just got to wait to see how that falls out and how these other games play out.
Certainly there are a lot of good point guards in this conference, and what do you think makes Jordan McLaughlin special and unique?
Well, he's very good with the basketball. I think he's got a very good basketball IQ. He makes a lot of good play. I think he's like somewhere in the neighborhood of 230 assists to like maybe 70 turnovers. You know, it's crazy, his assist to turnover ratio, and he's got the ball in his hands a lot. You know, so to make that many good plays when you're handling a ball as much as he handles it, he values possessions, and I think he's just been a really good leader for their team over the years. You know, he's really stepped into that position as a freshman, and you've just seen him grow each year, and I think that's always a sign of a really good player when you can come in as a player like this, and now you leave like this. And Jordan has been somebody I think has improved every year.
You talked last year a lot about wanting guys to be vocal and leaders on the court. Who's kind of taken on that role for this team where, you know, if you're in one of those moments where maybe the intensity's sagging a little bit, that they've stepped
Well,
up?
Aaron's the main guy, but Aaron and Tom mostly have done that, and Aaron's just a little probably more vocal because he's a point guard. And Aaron's just having one of those special years. Aaron he's been our leader from the get-go, and we've asked him to do, it's amazing what we've asked him to do this year, from score to make threes, to drive the ball, to create for others, to guard the team's best guard. You know, he's going to get that matchup. You know, he's getting Jordan. It doesn't always match up that way the other way around, to where opponents are putting their best offensive player on Aaron, and that's where you see how special Aaron is. Aaron has to do it at both ends at a really high level, and we've had to monitor things with both Aaron and Tom in practice because of just worrying about him getting wore down, because they're playing a lot of minutes, and we're asking both of them to do an awful lot. So we're trying to monitor that. We got back from the road trip and took a couple days off, and practices have been much more refreshed, and hopefully they've gotten some good rest going into this final push.
As you go into a tournament season where you play every day or every other day, do you feel like you're going to have to, can't play, 40 minutes in those types of situations?
Well, we just have to get to that point. But again, I've said this all. What other options do we have?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I've got 5 other options. So that's just the way it is. And so guys have got, this time of the year, you've got to ask, from whether it's assistants, head coaches, or players, you got to ask more. And what can you do more? And so we've asked a lot from them, and we get into next week, we're going to ask more. It's just that's the way it is. But if you ask Tom and you ask Aaron, that's why they like playing this game. They want to see just to what level that they can get to, and that's why they're special players. But it's not just those two. We're asking that of whether it's Gigi or Alex up front or a backcourt freshman, whatever it may be. You're asking players to do a little bit more. What can you do to help your team in areas that maybe you haven't done this year? To get over the hump, and that's the type of year we're in.
Against Utah and Colorado, it seemed like you guys switched the pick and roll a lot more. Is that just something you put in for that road trip, or something?
No, we've been doing that. That's been a part of our pick and roll coverage, so we've been doing that a lot this year. A lot of it has to do with matchups, sometimes foul trouble, if we have any kind of foul trouble, but mixing what we do defensively from man to zone and pick and roll coverage has been something we've been doing all year.
And you also mentioned trying to limit turnovers. It seems like Alex Olszynski has been called for moving screens or something several times. Is there something you've seen on tape regarding that?
No, and as I've told him, keep screening, because we get one moving screen a game, I'm fine with that. At least we're attempting to screen. So a lot of teams don't screen at all. So I like what Alex does. Alex does a terrific job of screening and setting people up. He's a good pick and pop guy, and he's doing a really good job on the glass. And he's a good basketball IQ guy. I think that's what he and Gigi really bring to us, is that they really understand positioning and how to play. And when those two guys are playing at a high level, I think it takes us to another level.
Is this good tournament prep to go on the road in a rivalry game and needing to play with an edge right before the tournament?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing it a long time. I've been doing conference tournaments for a long time. So I've gone into conference tournaments with teams that, have not been playing well and then played extremely well in the tournament, or vice versa, been playing very well and didn't play very well in the conference tournament, or teams that have finished the season well and then they go in the conference tournament and play well. So it's, I don't know if there's, one way that's better. I think just any time that you hit March and you're playing better, that's a key. And we obviously had some lapses in our trip to Colorado and Utah that we're trying to correct this week as we enter March, because once you enter this month, you know, there's no room for those lapses. You've got to be able to be on point moving forward.
All right, thank you, Coach.